Limiting beliefs, Jared said there are things that are not real. Are there beliefs that are true that can be limiting too?
Can say that again? Make sure I understand you.
Jared said that a limiting belief is a belief that's not true.
A belief that's not true.
Right, that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
But can there be beliefs that are true that can be limiting also?
So let's think about that. What would be a limiting belief that is true?
I had this conversation with my wife the other day. Instructions on how to do something, and she's like, I can't, just read it, tell me what, I can't read it and then do it. I said, well, that's a limiting belief. And she's like, no, it's been like this my entire life, I can't, if you show me, I'll do it, but I can't read it. And so I had this whole argument back and forth with my wife about, no, you could do it if you wanted, you're telling yourself you can't. And then I had that exact conversation with a lady on the phone too. And so they had both were trying to tell me that that was not a limiting belief, that was a true thing.
So if you have a belief that is limiting you, that means that you can be unlimited. That means you can get beyond that belief, right? So obviously it can't be true because there's something more expansive that allows you to be more of who you are. So there is no truth that can limit you because
it sets you free.
Limit by very definition means that it's not complete, it's not whole, it's not.
Yeah. That's kind
It's
of
not
the
full.
definition I take is any belief in your life that's holding you back in any way, shape, or form is by definition a limiting belief. And so really believing anything the mind of man can conceive and believe it can achieve. And so anything that's holding you back in life, that's a limiting belief that needs to be cleared on. How do you clear a limiting belief?
Adam. Call Adam.
Call me out.
1-800-ADAM-MORTIMER, Prosper.com.
If anyone ever, and I always make myself available, if you ever need help, if you come up with a limiting belief, not sure how to deal with it, talk to me. How do you clear a limiting belief, especially if it's a subconscious limiting belief?
You can do it through hypnosis.
Reprogramming your
Hypnosis,
thinking.
reprogramming thought.
Ho'oponopono.
Ho'oponopono. Now, what are all these? So there's a
Knowing
lot
the
of different
truth.
clearing methods, right? In fact,
I don't
there's
think
really
so.
no end to how many ways you can clear someone of the limiting belief. But really, what is the goal? What are we trying to do with clearing a limiting belief?
You have to recognize it's there.
Well, yeah, exactly, you have to recognize it, but then it's replacing it.
Letting it go.
Yeah,
There you go.
because
Okay.
I think because we did the last thing when I was telling you about, you know, I felt like I was releasing, but then I had to pull it back because I didn't
Right.
have anything to put in its place.
Just
So I
like
think
planting
for me
a
it's-
garden.
I think for me it's not only releasing, but it's about having something to transfer my belief to, or my emotional attention, attachment to.
Yeah. I'm going to do a demonstration today that maybe will give us some more insight into how limiting beliefs work and how you can clear a limiting belief. But sometimes just accepting that you don't want to believe that anymore is all it takes. Once you recognize it and say, you know what, I don't believe that anymore. Sometimes it takes a little bit more. But with all the clearing methods that we have, the ultimate goal is to detach emotion from the belief. Once you detach emotion from the belief, it's a dead thought. It no longer has power. Remember last time I said people make decisions based on
Emotion.
emotion, right? Everybody does it. And so if you have a limiting belief and have a bunch of negative emotion attached to it, when thoughts come to you, how many of you have to consciously pull up the words when you speak? I mean, doesn't language naturally just kind of flow to you? How many of you have to actually think when you raise your hand? So much of what we do is unconscious. So when we have a negative emotion attached to a negative belief, our thoughts, what we think, will come out differently. In psychology, they call this a Freudian slip, right? Our actions will change. What we see will change in the outside world. The example of the car, you buy a car, and you notice all the other cars that look like yours. when you have a limiting belief, you believe, for example, you believe that you're not lucky. There's a good example of this, Darren Brown did this on, what was it? It was the science of being lucky or something. But there was one guy that was so convinced he wasn't lucky. And so they decided they would put things in his path to help him, change that mindset. So the first thing is they had someone with money, this one that was taking a survey. Now he was a butcher, so all he had to do was name 5 cuts of beef and he would get $50. And so he went by and the woman approached him, hey, can you name 5 cuts of beef? You'll get some money. No, not right now. I'm busy. I'll come back in 5 minutes. Well, he never came back. So they thought, well, let's get a little bit more obvious. Let's place a $100 bill in his path, and he'll obviously see it, and then he'll think he's lucky. Well, he didn't notice the money. He walked right over it. He actually stepped on the $100 bill and kept walking. They said, well, what do we got to do to really convince this guy that he's lucky? So they rented one of those big billboards that go on the back of trucks, and his name was Jason. He said, Jason, call this number. It's your lucky day. And they put the number really big. And so they drove it past him, and he didn't notice it. They drove it past him again, still didn't notice it. So they said, well, what do we got to do with this guy? So they followed him around all day in town. Like everywhere he went, this big, huge sign. He'd take a step forward. I mean, it got that ridiculous. So finally he calls, and he goes, hey, what's this about? I'm supposed to call this number. And he brought him in, and he showed him these videos of how many times lucky things were trying to come into his life, and he was blocking them. So limiting beliefs can create what's called a negative hallucination. So we have positive or just regular hallucinations where you visualize something that's not there. A unicorn right here would be a hallucination. A negative hallucination would be you can't see that telephone right there in front of you. And when you have a limiting belief, you can actually create negative hallucinations to the point where you can't see money-making opportunities. If you want to see an example of this, The Money Tree on YouTube is a good video to watch. This is a video about people that they put dollar bills in a tree. They wanted to see what would happen. Has anyone heard about this?
Yeah.
So they put, here you have, they put all these, it was $100 and $1 bills up in a tree, and they just wanted to see, it was kind of a social experiment, they kind of wanted to see what would happen. And their theory was, it's going to be swarmed by people, and it'll be gone in like 2 minutes, the tree's going to be totally bare. And they had fun little positive notes, like it's your lucky day, and pay it forward, cool things like that. So they set the cameras up, people start walking by, and one after another, people did not recognize this tree. It was right in front of them. I mean, in fact, the dollar bills were hanging so low, it was touching people's heads as they were walking through it. And at the end of the day, by the time they were totally done with it, $80 was still on the tree.
Wow.
Very few people actually saw the money and took advantage of it. So if you want to see some negative hallucinations in real life, I mean, that's a perfect example of how it works. And so, it's just really interesting. But so
Called The Money Tree?
The Money Tree, yeah. So, Bianca, you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, so I wanna show something that I think is pretty cool about the power of imagination. Now, I already know Bianca has a very powerful mind, very powerful imagination, and when we do our meditations, she goes very, very deep, and so I think she'd be a perfect person to do this with. So, if everyone could give me about 2 minutes just to kind of prep her, get her in the right state of mind, you guys can, well, hopefully just be quiet so so we can have her focus with me. I'm just right there?
Okay.
Okay. Now there's a number of ways that you can induce, this is hypnosis by the way, so there's a number of ways you can induce a trance into someone. We're going to do what's called a rapid induction, okay? So I could probably just have...
chair. Wait, I need two chairs.
You need a more comfortable chair?
I need two chairs.
Sure.
I'm gonna go over here.
So I'm going to just shake your hand here. Yeah, if you could shake my hand. Oh, you're already going. Can you look at me for a moment?
Sure.
Okay, so the first time that I shake your hand, your eyes are going to get very tired. Okay? Second time I shake your hand, your eyes are gonna close. And the third time I shake your hand, you're just gonna sleep and go all the way down into a deep state of relaxation. Just imagine yourself going deep, drifting peacefully, just going very deep into that beautiful, wonderful state of relaxation. As you take a deep breath, you're just able to just go deeper and deeper relax, just like that. Perfect. Deeper and deeper relax with each breath that you take. 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. There you go. All the way deep. There you go. Right the way down. Right the way down. Okay. So anytime I have you or say the word sleep, you're going to be able to go even deeper into that state of relaxation. Okay. So I want you to open your eyes for a moment. Bianca, open your eyes. There you go. Oh, she's going really deep today. Let's come up. Let's start with 5. Coming up, more and more awake, more and more aware. 4, more and more awake, more and more aware. I want the drowsiness, draining, relaxation remaining. 3, 2, and 1. Open your eyes. Go ahead and open your eyes. Sit up in your chair for me. Okay? I want you to put your hands together like this. Put your hands together like this. And you're going to have the world's strongest glue on your hands, okay? So the harder you try to pull them apart, the more stuck they get, okay? You can open your eyes, okay? You can open your eyes when you do this. The harder you try to pull them apart, the more stuck they get. Go ahead and try to pull your arms apart. Okay, go ahead and try. The harder you try, the more stuck they get. Go ahead and try. Okay, so this is a good example of what a limiting belief is. When someone believes something, it becomes very, very real. Go ahead and relax the arms. Okay. All right, you want to do something here? Okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to try to stay awake for 10 seconds. That's all you got to do is stay awake for 10 seconds, okay? You want to try that? Okay. Try to stay awake for 10 seconds. I'm going to make you a bet. I think I can make you go to sleep in less than 10 seconds, okay? You try your very best. Are you willing to do that? Okay. Go ahead and find a spot on the wall you can look at. And we'll start with the number 10 and just sleep. Go right the way down, all the way down, deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper into that profound state of relaxation. Okay. Well, some people think that when people are in this state, well, they're just messing around, they're just pretending. Well, let's go ahead and open your eyes again. Go ahead and open your eyes, sit up in your chair. Okay, this time, $20. I'll put $20 on it. If you can keep your eyes open for 10 seconds, you get $20. Okay, so keep your eyes open. If you can keep your eyes open for 10 seconds. Okay? You down for that, Bianca? You down for that? She gets so relaxed. This is cool. Ready? $20. Find a spot on the wall that you can stare at. You got it? So let's go at 10, 9, 8, and sleep all right the way down. All the way down to that deep sleep relaxation. Right the way down. So people think that money motivates people. It doesn't motivate people. What motivates people is their beliefs. Now, next thing we're going to do, Bianca, go ahead and open your eyes. Go ahead and open your eyes. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Sit up. Okay. What we're going to do is everything is going to just become hysterically funny. You know those laughs where you just laugh hysterically, uncontrollably? You know what I'm talking about? 1,000 times as funny. Right now, go for it. 1,000 times as funny. Everything just becomes so hilarious. 10 times as funny. Everything's just hysterical now. And sleep deeper and deeper, drifting into that. So that's a powerful form of emotional control. How many of you would like to be able to control your emotions like that? Be able to get into that peak state or to get into that. This is a profound state of relaxation. Wouldn't that be nice to be able to get in that deep state of relaxation just like that? Be able to relax completely. So go ahead and open your eyes. Go ahead and open your eyes. Go ahead and sit up. Go ahead and sit up. Give her a hand. You did great. Okay, so what do we learn about limiting beliefs by kind of watching that and seeing that? Kind of think of it. Now, those were very physical things that she was doing. But what happens when someone has those types of beliefs?
They believe it. That's what's
Yeah,
real. They
it's
imagine
real to
it's
you,
true.
right? I mean, even for $20, she couldn't keep her eyes open for 10 seconds. That's all she had to do. I could have bet her $1 million if the same thing would have happened.
Do it.
Let's
Let's really prove it.
Don't try Jared on that.
How you feeling? Have you guys? Sometimes you see stage hypnotists. They do the sleep gun. Have you heard of the sleep gun?
Yeah.
you have a sleep gun, and whatever you shoot it at, they'll sleep, right? So this sleep gun's kind of interesting because it can actually bounce off things. So I'm gonna shoot it there, it's gonna bounce from there, it's gonna hit that light, and then it's gonna hit you, okay? Ready? Just like that, that's a sleep gun, so that's a fun thing you can do. But, okay, go ahead and open your eyes. Open your eyes. Okay, go ahead and sit up. How are you feeling? Feeling relaxed? Cool, cool. So what happens a lot of times when we have limiting beliefs, when we have these deeply seated subconscious limiting beliefs, for that person, it's real, right? And so one of the things I do as a coach, and you can do this as you're talking to people, is meet them where they're at. Instead of going against what they say is real, well, that's a limiting belief, because nobody likes to be told that their reality is not reality, right? Well, that's not true. Now, go with them, kind of meet them in the middle. You kind of have to go into the insanity a little bit to help bring them out of it, okay? So let's go ahead and bring you up all the way up out of this. So let's count from 1 to 5, feeling more and more awake, more and more aware, more and more refreshed, coming all the way up. 2, more and more awake, more and more aware, more and more awake, more and more aware, the drowsiness draining, relaxation remaining. 2, 3, more and more awake, more and more aware. 4, more and more awake, more and more aware. And 5, totally awake, totally aware. Welcome back. How was that? Okay. Any questions on any of that? So you take that color, you imagine it around you, just everywhere you go, that confidence follows with you. If you can do that consistently for a week, 2 weeks, you're going to naturally build confidence, and it's very powerful. It'll stick with you. So, all right. Well, I had one more thing I wanted to share with you. Think and Grow Rich. There's a principle in there. The principle of transmutation, and basically it's taking one energy and transmuting it into another energy. So people buy based on emotion. What's the strongest human emotion that people can feel?
Sex.
Okay.
Love.
Love. Love, yeah. So both of those are actually correct. And so if you can, for example, whatever thought you're thinking at a certain time, that comes through in your tonality. If you want to convince someone to buy something, or increase the probability someone's going to buy something, the more you can think loving thoughts in your mind as you're talking to that person, it will actually shift your tonality. Your voice will become much more charming, much more inviting, almost
Husband, wife.
persuasive, and you have a much better chance of closing the deal. So that's just a little tip I learned, and it's significantly improved what I was doing. So, all right, thanks, guys.